And we're live with Massive Nyarlathotep, with our usual victims, Maxine, Lottie, and William. And played by Slip, Rogue, and Matty, or Mattihi. Do you go by Matty now, or Mattihi, or
Matt, or just Matt here
just
is
Matt?
easier.
Wow. All right, we're
shortened.
getting lazy. All right, so all right, we're gonna pick up where we left off. You were camped out at the base, more or less, of Mount Satima. And, let's see. Yeah. Okay. So it is, as I recall, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was sort of mid-afternoon when William figured out a path from your chosen site off to the side at the fringe of where people had been camping, and the entrance that he has spotted that's up a bit of a winding switchback in the side of the mountain here. It's difficult to see, but he spotted it. And there were several warriors in face paint that came down earlier in the day, I think, which is what tipped you off and got you to look. There is one minor hurdle, I guess you could say, to getting there, and that is from William's analysis of the geography. It is going to be pretty well impossible to get up to that switchback without passing by the little campsite of this person. Who happens to have campsite right in the way.
The train lady.
The train lady.
Now, where did you say she was in relation to between us and the entrance?
She's like right at the foot of the switchback. To get to that switchback, the start of the switchback, you're going to have to go right to her little campsite.
That seems kind of deliberate. Well, for like maybe she's guarding it.
It could be.
Well, William's come back as they're pondering this. Maxine, she eyes the entrance. We got to get us in there. And we know that there's, something like, how many of those warriors came out, did you say?
I think it was 8.
Yeah, there was about 8 of them that come out. That's 8 we don't have to deal with.
And there appeared to be one guarding the entrance as well.
Yeah. I've been thinking. Listen, William, can you turn around for a minute?
He kind of raises his eyebrow.
She starts unbuttoning her blouse.
Of course.
So she starts fiddling with her blouse, and she says, I don't think I ever did tell you about the rest of my family. There's Ma, Dad, Joseph, Francis, Frankie, Peter, and then me. And she, about down to the last button, she starts to pull her shirt open. She starts fiddling with her brassiere. Well, Ma, she was a big fan of All Hallows Eve, made a big deal of it every year. We'd carve them, turn up lanterns, the whole 9 yards. We'd have a bonfire, and she'd tell scary stories. This was back in Oki. One of the ones she told me was from when she was like a lass back in the old country. A true story, she said. When she was young, there was a bunch of murders in Dublin. Jeez, this thing. She seems to be fiddling with something on her strap. All young ladies. There was a bunch of murders. All young ladies found strangled in the beds. Never caught the villain, but the people called him the gentleman caller because he left them girls with a pretty red necklace after visiting them. You know, that's kind of gruesome. Well, my brother Peter loved that one. Sick bastard. Made himself a garrote out of some cords and sticks and tried it out on me once, which I gotta tell you, wasn't really out of character. I think I got this. She starts pulling off one out of one side of her brassiere, like there was like part of the support. It's like a metal rod, and she starts pulling on it, and there's a wire attached to it. Well, anyway, he tried it out on me, and Frankie caught him at it and kicked him so hard I don't think his balls ever crawled out again. And so Peter left home not too long after that for the big city. He started calling himself Peter Gentleman. About a year in, around 1919, he, from what I hear, lost all his cabbage to a gambling joint called the Four Deuces. Threw a brick through the window, got himself lead poisoning from the owner, a fella named Martin Guilfoyle. Then he died in the hospital. Funny thing is, for about a year, there'd been a rash of murders, all blonde ladies strangled in their beds. Papers called him the South Side Strangler. And when Peter was done in, well, their murder stopped. It could have been a coincidence. And she pulls it out, and then she pulls, this other metal rod from the other side of her bra strap. I got it. Well, anyway, that's how I know how to make a garrote. And she starts to button her blouse back up. William, you can turn around. If you can get yourself some, maybe some tent cord and use some of the rods or some sticks, drill some holes in them, I can show you how to make one of these.
Lottie looks to Maxine, still slightly heated in the face. And it's a fairly long-winded story to get to the point of making a garrote out of your underwear, but alright, who's gonna do the choking then?
Had some, well, I'm pretty sure I know what I'm doing. Haven't experienced it myself. William, you ever used one of these? Of course you haven't, but it's pretty simple. Yep. I've seen you in a fight. You're good with your hands. You'll catch on quick. Tie a knot in the middle. If you're using rope, catches on the larynx. Makes it so they can't call out.
He turns around and kind of an impressed look. He nods. I think I could figure it out.
Yeah, and she pulls a switchblade out of her purse. Snick. We can drill some holes in the stick. Just thread the rope through and then tie a knot on the end. That way you can pull on the sticks. It gives you more leverage than when you're just pulling on the rope.
Seems possible this could take someone's head off. If you read hard enough.
Yeah, this piano wire, maybe, but a little bit of tent cord. I doubt it, but then again, you're stronger than I am.
He nods, and they're not going to be using their tents, are they? Or did we put our tents up?
I put one tent up, but we've still got the other tent.
Yeah, he can use some of the wire from that.
You got a problem with this constructing another garrote out of that, Darren?
No, not at
Okay.
all.
And Lottie looks to the others and says, I've got to be honest. I don't really know, based on how many people are out here. Maybe how many people run to in there. I don't know if there's much of a chance that we're going to make it out, or at least all of us are. And she looks over to Maxine. I know we're probably gonna have to leave Ingrid here.
She looks over at Ingrid. I'm fine with that. But we'll see what Ingrid has to say about it.
She suddenly hears her name. You can see she's been lost in thought. And she says, "What about me?"
We're heading in, but we ain't taking any zombies with us, Ingrid.
Zombies.
People who only half alive. Are you in or are you out?
You know I am in. I'm here to find out what is going on.
Yeah, but are you going to be a liability, Ingrid? Are you really here? Aware? Or is your mind somewhere else?
Well, what do you know about my mind?
Well, I know that you seem real strange right now. And you didn't even know what we was talking about until we said your name.
You see, she just frowns and she says, "You do what you like. I'm going to go in."
All right. Well, you better go armed. But, we ain't gonna get noisy unless we have to.
What weapons does Wanjira have?
A spear.
Be as nice and quiet as
It
long
looks
as you...
like she's also got a short, crude knife at her side.
Yeah, that'll be quiet.
Maxine looks at her, because they have machetes. She holds hers out to Wanjira and says, would you like this better than that knife? I could trade you. I ain't much good with it.
She looks at it, takes it. And she just takes it and puts it next to her.
Okay.
She doesn't give you the knife, though.
That's all right. Max has her switchblade.
Yeah, William makes sure to check the rounds in the gun, make sure it's clean and stuff before anything, hiding it as well as possible to the rifle and the pistol.
Okay.
About what time is it now?
I mean, it's any time in the afternoon that you want it to be, really. I mean, depending on, it's I'd say mid-afternoon, but if you're doing some stuff, it could be could be later in the afternoon. You have time to do things if you need to before nightfall.
Heal Lottie's shoulder.
Maybe not that.
I wish.
Yeah, Max keeps glancing at Lottie. She actually seems a little more concerned about Lottie coming along than Ingrid, but she doesn't say anything. You gonna be able to shoulder a rifle, Lottie, or?
Going to have to try.
We can't forget our little friend.
Of course not. If anything, I'll bring Lindsay with us and, well, my contribution. But if things get too, well, dicey, I guess, I'll, shoulder the pain. I can.
All right.
Oh, and William, you can tell as you're talking, William's peeking over, the tent and looking in the direction of the entrance where they need to go, and then he turns back and says, in order to get there, we're going to have to pass right by the lady from the train.
How are we gonna... I mean, if I was 100% that she was one of them, I'd be all for just sneaking up behind her and She makes a strangling motion. It can't be a coincidence. She's right there in the front. She's gotta be. It's gotta be. She's one of them, right?
Do we happen to have any of those fireworks left at all?
Now, we didn't use even close to all of them, but I doubt we took all of them with us. Can we decide if we took some fireworks with us, Darren?
Lucky
Because I was
check?
thinking about that too. Yeah, something like that.
Maybe.
Maybe just some firecrackers or
Sure.
something.
Yeah, small things. I really don't see you having been carrying fireworks around with you everywhere. I don't know. Do you think you would have brought some?
I think they wouldn't have brought anything big or heavy, but maybe some firecrackers.
Just for distraction.
Okay.
Couple M80s.
So I see where you're going with this. Maybe toss these and just get by you.
Aye, just very quick. Just a quick distraction. We can get someone to toss these. Light the fuse, toss it. Once it explodes, it'll draw some eyes, especially hers. And we'll have to hurry and make our way inside. It'll be strange, sure, but I don't think anyone will be suspecting that we're already in.
Max looks up there and tries to plot this out.
Ugh. I just had a diabolical idea.
What?
What if we gave the fireworks to someone else as a present
But really,
and waited for them to light the fire?
they're all not all in their right minds, William. Don't think we're going to find anyone who's too aware here.
I did see a few children.
I'm not sure they're acting like children either. Oh. What if there was some way that we could just create some kind of a delay?
Lengthen the wick.
We could take some of the wicks from the other ones that we brought. Not of many, just a few, but if we tie them together or something, we can lengthen it. It'll just allow. I don't think we should place it. It'll be that long. I think we should just light it and toss it.
And then wait for it to go off?
Aye.
Well, so at what point climbing up the hill would someone who'd position themselves at the entrance see someone who's coming up if they were just sitting and not standing? Like,
It's if they're at the actual right at the entrance, it looks like there's quite a curvature to the switchbacks. So you would have let's see, William would guess probably 10 or 15 yards maybe coming around a bend where you would be seen.
all right, how about this? Maxine says, how about this? We try this. We take the firework and we wrap it. Wrap it in something that'll burn, but get nice and covered up. Then on the way up, we toss it in someone else's fire. And then we get up as close as we can without being seen and wait for it to go off.
I mean, good. We've got some spare clothes. I'm sure if we use some cotton or something, then it'll burn right through.
Yeah, something that'll just buy us a little time for it to go off.
Well, throwing it in the fire means it is probably going to go off very quickly.
Even if it's swabbed, I'm talking about like cocooning it and something that'll have to burn up first.
Maybe, yeah, maybe. Yeah, I actually, yeah, this is Maxine.
Yeah, she's not Shelly.
Not Shelly. Shelly would be able to figure this out and would probably love the problem and come up with a great solution. I don't know about Shelly. I think you could imagine putting something around it, wax or something like that, and hoping that it's. But the thing is, these are paper
Mm-hmm.
firecrackers, and as soon as it catches fire, it's not going to take much for it to burn through to the gunpowder, no matter unless you really have the whole thing encased in something that has to burn through, and it just seems a little unreliable, but it might work.
You know, these people are quite in a zombie-like state. What would happen if we just walked up?
Yeah, it's not. I'm sure that they're not going to give us any problem. It's that Indian lady we got to distract.
I'm afraid of the fireworks bringing even more eyes towards us if this doesn't go right.
Saying we should just take her out.
Well, perhaps we could get lucky and just walk by without her giving us a thought.
She knows who we are, William. That ain't gonna happen.
Well, I can't just walk up and take her out. She's surrounded by people too. She's got people near her.
But read about them. All right, let's try the throw the firecracker routine then.
We could take her into the tent if it was necessary.
She's also got
Her
that
tent,
son.
perhaps. I wonder if she brought him here.
Most likely.
Yeah, where she is, probably that kid is. Darn it. Well, I'm kind of out of ideas. I like Lottie's idea with the firecracker, at least to give it a shot at distracting them, getting them to get up and check it out. Maybe have William with the strong arm, or Wanjira. Well, no, Wanjira might hold it too long, not knowing what it is. But William could toss it.
And William just nods at that.
But we need to get as close as we can without getting seen first, so we can really try to make it all the way up.
Well, should we do this now?
I have to do something and then we can.
The more we talk about it, the more nervous we're going to get. It's better to just...
Yeah.
It's like nasty medicine, just swallow it down.
The other thing we should be careful of is when this happens, it's not just going to be her that's alerted. Probably the man in the side hole that we're going in. I think, William, you need to be in front so you can take him out quickly so he doesn't scream.
Oh, that's what I worry about with the firework.
Yeah,
Would it summon the warriors?
it might.
They're out of there. They've been gone for quite a while. Did they head into the forest, you said, Darren?
Yep, they disappeared down the mountainside and into the tree line.
I think they're too far away to be my primary concern anyway. Well, let's go quiet then, I guess. Let's take the firecrackers with us just in case. William, you got a light. I give it to Lottie. She can be a firecracker girl, and we'll be the silent but deadly.
I can be the lighter, but I'm not going to be the thrower.
I bet.
You can I'll hold it and you can light it and I'll throw it. That's fine.
Okay. Okay.
Don't forget our lizard.
I never do. She's kind of attached Lindsay to like a little hip belt that she has, just bouncing along the cage. I never forget her.
Just in case you drop it, you have to carry it.
Oh, is it that big?
The cage isn't big enough for you just to like attach to the
Okay.
belt. Like you have to carry it.
Ah, yeah. Ooh, that's a problem. Yeah, she just taps it against her hip a little bit. All right. And
Are we hearing all these flies right
Yep.
now?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of flies around here. They're just constant.
You remember what the wise men said about the flies being evil spirits?
Yeah, there's flies all over this place. I think I'm hoping that lizard's going to be more worried about, well, the bigger flies. And still, Max makes sure she has that fly whisk.
Yep. You have it.
Ingrid, do you have any quiet weapons?
She doesn't really hear you at first, and then she looks at you and just says, "What?"
Ingrid, do you have any quiet weapons?
Quiet weapons. Like a knife. I have a knife.
Right. Just make sure you bring it with you.
All right.
No shooting unless we gotta.
And William takes a more interest in Ingrid at that moment, and he says, Ingrid, are you hearing anything or seeing any visions? What are you focusing on?
She cracks a sort of crooked smile, and she says, "No visions, but I hear something. There is it's like a rumbling at the edge of hearing, like the earth moving."
Try not to listen to that too hard. I think it's distracting.
She looks at you, Maxine. You can make a psychology.
Yeah, right.
roll. Her expression is a little confusing. Yeah, you're not really sure what it is, but there's something meaningful in the expression she's making. It's not an angry or frustrated look, but you can't quite tell. But you instinctively know that it's significant.
Right. She just, as usual, doesn't know
Mm-hmm.
what it signifies. She looks back at Ingrid with concern and confusion and gives her hand, reaches out to squeeze her hand. All right. Are we going to do this?
You don't have to, Maxine, but I do.
Ingrid, I've been going here from the beginning. I do have to do this.
Then we are doing it, yes.
All right, then. She looks at everybody else. Let's do this.
Are you going, like, when is this? It wouldn't be dark yet unless you are deliberately waiting.
Well, I guess what we'd maybe wait for dusk so it's dark-ish, but we're not going to trip and fall on everything.
Okay. Yep.
And before they go, William does spend a moment with Lottie, kind of like alone, just to I guess pray for a moment. He spends a moment praying to himself, and he does say, "Are you ready?"
Lottie, she rubs her hurt arm lightly, looks to William. I don't know if I'll ever be ready to do this, but I'm going to have to be.
And you can see he's fiddling with the ring on your finger, and he takes Lottie's hand and kisses it. And he says, "Way to stay close."
Okay, I'll stay close behind you.
And then William nods to Maxine.
Maxine looks at each of them, one by one, and then nods. And then I guess they start to creep forward toward the spot that we had discussed, the place where kind of the curvature, they still weren't really visible, but got them closer.
Okay. You all move out in a file. The ground is very difficult and irregular, kind of forcing you to go single file very frequently. There are times when you can spread out a little bit, but it's a difficult going, generally speaking.
As they make the walk, Max is holding the whisk in one hand.
Okay. Who's leading? Like, what's the order of march here, as it were?
I think Max is toward the front.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
William, are you leading them though? You're the one that saw the path, so it seems like you're the one that knows the way to go.
I think Maxine might have taken off first, and then William will probably be right behind her. If that's
I mean,
about right.
it's very likely that as they take off and William knows what he's doing, he would shift in front of her.
Yeah, I'd say that's reasonable.
And he was holding Lottie's hand for a moment, and then he probably lets go and starts to lead. Yeah.
When Jira brings up the rear, then she's kind of watching behind you as you go. So Ingrid's beside her, and Lottie's sort of in the
I'm in the middle.
Yeah. So more like this. When you have to spread out, or when you have to go single file, of course.
Now, as we're getting closer and it's somewhat darker, do we see that there's a flicker of campfire from the people that have camped at the base?
Yep, there's quite a number of campfires that have already, been lit. They may have already been lit for most of the day, some of them. But yes, as the sky darkens, you can definitely see the glow of many campfires.
I think we get as close as we can without us being able to see them or them see us, and then maybe wait, crouch down on the ground and wait for it to get a little darker.
Okay, so I'm gonna get you close. I'm gonna show you the area then.
Ooh.
And you guys are down here, or can be. This is sort of the beginning of this switchback area. Once you go up here, there really isn't any practical way to get back down without coming back this way.
He's there.
So you can see, path. It kind of goes like this. You can take either of these, and then as you get up, the final switchback is up here. Oops, sorry, up here.
Oh man, that's an interesting camp right there.
Let's stop. Let's see if we hear anybody talking.
Okay, who wants to make the listen roll?
Is Lottie the listener?
Let's.
Lottie the listener.
No.
Or is it William? I
No.
think maybe
Lottie's the looker.
William, are you the listener?
I got a 45.
That's not
good.
as alliterative.
Liam, the listener.
I guess William. Go ahead and
Okay,
listen.
go ahead.
Well, all be still and quiet and patient. Nice.
Oh, for sure. You definitely, and don't forget to check it off. Yeah, you definitely hear low voices. Definitely coming from right up here. I'm going to say, you don't necessarily have to be right where I put you. That's just the beginning of the map. You're probably a little further down unless you want to be up there. They're definitely talking. You hear two men at that campsite talking. You don't speak their language, however. They're speaking in some Kenyan dialect. But they're having, I would say, a surprisingly animated conversation. Like, I think you have been under the impression that most people are just sitting there like zombies. These people do not sound like they're sitting there talking like zombie, just staring. They're definitely having what almost sounds like a normal conversation in low tones. They're not being very loud, but they are having a conversation.
William stops for a moment as they stop and start to listen. William nods and like a surprised look on his face, and then he goes to touch Lottie's arm and he says, "Listen." And he points to where the men are above and says, "Can you understand what they say?"
I can try. Try to listen in more to see if you can understand.
Okay. Yeah, you can make a language roll.
No.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, you have really no idea what they're talking about. They're talking too low and too fast. You'd need them to talk a little slower and more deliberately to really take apart what they're saying. But I would say you can at least tell that they're having what you would describe as a good-natured argument. And at the same time, while you're listening and everyone's quiet, you hear a familiar voice echo and saying, Ravi, something like that. You don't speak the language. But you know the voice.
Oh, does it sound like the woman from the train?
It does.
Oh, that's what I thought. Yeah, she listens in. She shakes her head to William at first. Says, it sounds like some sort of, like an argument, but not one of malice or any of that. Is like between friends. She pauses. She hears the voice. Oh, I think the woman, I think her son is definitely with her. him hear the same way that she yelled at him before?
They sound much more sentient than we first believed.
I'm not sure exactly how we're gonna pass this.
He looks to Wanjira, and he thinks for a moment. Well, she would probably understand. I
She
guess it matters.
she doesn't. I mean, she's just watching behind you. She's kind of more or less watching you guys to see when you move along, but otherwise she's just kind of keeping an eye out behind you so people don't come up on you unawares.
Yeah. I think he would just start moving along. He wouldn't probably bother with it.
Okay. You can show me what you do.
Maybe, Max is gonna follow.
Oh, okay. Lottie creeps up behind them, but surprised it just went off.
Yeah, Max is looking behind her, shrugging.
Yeah. He does stop when he hears Maxine start saying maybe and then he stops and he turns back and looks over his shoulder.
Maybe we should talk to him. Start in with the and just make a simple. She makes that upside down salute.
And he nods. Perhaps so. Well, Wanjira might be able to speak the language, I hope.
They might speak Swahili or English even. Let's give it a go.
Well, the woman from the train certainly did.
Well, she's up there. If we keep it quiet, we may not draw her attention to the conversation down here. It's dark.
And the campsite here is not in view of the campsite there.
Right, I figured that's like a steep.
Yep, it is. See that all of these rock formations are very steep and would take quite an effort to climb without drawing attention to yourself. Not impossible necessarily if you're a good climber, but but it is by no means an easy or even difficult climb. You know, like a hike. You are climbing. You're looking for handholds and things.
Let's creep forward quietly, but then approach them with the. She'll give that upside down a salute and a wave once they get closer.
All right, you kind of come. You're stepping into view, into the light of the fire, and they this guy stops talking and looks over at you, and the other guy stops and looks at you. They look like they just have, they're just looking at you curiously. They don't look alarmed or anything.
Yeah, she'll, like I said, cover both bases with a wave and the weird salute she saw in the forest.
Yep. They both return that. Well, actually, this guy returns the sign, and this guy looks to him and sees him do that, and then he kind of apes him doing that. Or imitates. The woman just, turns and looks at you, but she doesn't do anything. They're all sitting, of course.
Yeah, Max will approach, and as they get closer, speak lowly. Do you speak English?
This guy turns to the other and says something in a low voice, not in English. This guy, uh, he stands up and dusts off. He's wearing a suit and tie. It's rather the worse for wear. It's very dusty and dirty, but it probably was a decent suit at one time. He dusts himself off, and he says, "I speak some English."
Oh, good. May we join you at your fire? I just wanted to be closer in case we could get a glimpse of her, you know.
He looks at all of you, and he says, "There is not much room at this fire."
Well,
William is gonna kind of step forward and smile really brightly and kind of half bow to him and be like, "Good day, sir, William, Dr. William Stevens."
As you're doing that, you can see quite plainly, even without a psychology check, this guy here clearly does not like you. This intrusion, whatever it, whatever the reason, his scowl says it all. This guy doesn't seem to share his expression. And he says, "I am Tuku Mundaya."
Lottie interjects to both.
And he
Maxine.
reaches over the fire to put his hand out to shake it. And you can see that draws a look from this one. And he turns, the guy putting his hand out turns and says something to him. Lottie, I'll let you make a listen to see, or a language to see if you understand.
No.
No, he's saying something. You can catch a word here or there. He's saying something about we and in. You catch a couple of simple words like that, but it's a short sentence, and certainly his attitude is reassuring him that it's okay. And he kind of puts his hand out again for William to shake it.
Yeah, William happily accepts his hand and shakes it kind of excitedly. And, very good to meet you, sir. That is a very nice suit.
Well, it was very nice at one time. Please, you may sit. He says, "Your women can sit behind you."
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much.
Max will go sit by this lady, I guess.
And Lottie whispers, like trying to talk to Maxine and William, and she says, "I don't have room here. Why don't we just say that we move on? Be polite."
Yeah. I think that's a good play.
He says to William, "What?" He says, "Where have you come from? Perhaps a very long way to be here."
Yes, I'm from London.
That is very far. He says, you will find some travelers here, I think. It is a most curious episode.
Quite an amazing journey we've had. What brings you here?
I am here for enlightenment. My friend here has assured me I will find it. Though
Now, which one is speaking
I-
that?
the guy in the suit.
Oh, okay. Uh-oh.
And enlightenment, yes. We are here for the same. And he nods. William nods, smiling towards the other man as well, the guy that doesn't like him.
Mm-hmm. He's just giving you the look that you see on his token there. Like he's just he's not exactly folding his arms, but he looks irritated by your presence. And the suited man just says, "Well, I think that there are many people here who are expecting something extraordinary, myself included."
What do you think will happen?
He says, "My friend Magua has assured me that there will be a god appearing. I have never seen a god, so this will be quite an experience if it turns out to be more than an empty promise."
I have heard this as well. Did you bring any offerings?
Offerings. I brought a little bit of cash. Who doesn't like cash?
Indeed, sir. Well, we shouldn't trouble you much more. There doesn't seem to be very much room. I believe the ladies want to get a closer look as well, right? And he turns around and looks towards Lottie and Maxine.
Lottie just nods. She doesn't say anything, but nod towards William.
This guy is giving the women a look over. You feel, I mean, the look he's giving you makes you feel like he's maybe looking over a herd of cattle.
Yes, sir. Edward said it was going to be quite the sight here. And, but we haven't had a chance to see her yet. Have you seen her? He says, looking at, across them.
He looks, he says, "I am sorry, are you speaking to me? I cannot hear you. You will have to speak up."
We wish to get closer. Thank you for sharing your fire.
He says, "It is the polite thing to do."
Of course, manners are so important.
And William will stand up and dust himself off. And I hope you do find enlightenment, sir. All of you.
And I as well. And I hope you also find what you are looking for.
Max digs around in her bag and finds that jar of weird stuff that she got from the tea shop.
Mm-hmm.
And
Now, by weird stuff, which weird stuff?
Okay,
are you
there was
talking about?
incense, wasn't there? And there was something in a jar.
Yep.
Okay, she'll
there-
take one of the little cones of incense.
Okay.
And as they walk by, I don't know whether to hand it to him or throw it in his fire. I'm really curious.
He has to get up to let you by the way,
Yeah.
William. And you notice, you go. I'm assuming with kind of a good-natured smile of like, "Oh, excuse me,"
Yeah.
kind of thing. And he just stares at you for a minute, and he doesn't budge. How do you react?
William remains kind of polite and takes his hat off for a second and says, "Please excuse me, sir. I'll be out of your way."
he takes a calming breath and levers himself up to a standing position. And when he stands tall, he's like a whole head taller than you. And he just glares down at you for a moment. Do you do or say anything?
William just smiles at him and kind of just waits for him, just stares back at him.
Okay.
Trying not to like show him any fear or anything like that.
Make a power check for me then.
Give him the old stiff upper lip, William.
Yeah, you just stare at him, and this little staring thing goes on for maybe 5 seconds. Everyone's just sort of watching. There's silence, and then he just backs away and lets you go by. You can see he's not happy about it, but he just steps back.
Yeah, and I imagine like William keeps the smile for quite some time, and then it finally fades to probably the same look that he's giving him, and once he moves, he smiles at the guy with the suit and kind of bows his head. Good day, sir.
He nods as well.
All right, Max was going to throw that incense in the fire, but she decides not to.
Here's the hard choice, I guess, here.
Well, what are you doing? It would be a little awkward to stand where you are for too long with everybody kind of trying to trail behind. I mean, you could, but
should we head on up?
He's standing there waiting for you all to go by. So
Up to you, William.
It's a little unnatural to stop and stand there. So
yeah, William will keep going over to this area here.
Then I think we wait, see if anything happens, maybe.
Let's see. Lottie luck, please. Lucky Lottie.
Very lucky.
Oh my. Yep. As you get to about where you are now, you hear the guy in the suit saying something in a low voice, but the tone is clearly one of kind of mild chastisement to the other person. And the other person just answers back with a brief statement. Lottie, you can try a language roll.
Nope.
Not sure. Yep.
Fortunately.
I don't think that one likes me.
Yeah, he's one of them. But the other guy, poor guy, he's just a sheep.
Maybe if we do enough here, thing will happen.
Did we get a view of the camp as we moved by the stairs?
Not really, because they're up too high. You can see the glow and a little bit of smoke rising up, but you can't see the people really.
What I'm thinking of doing is maybe one of us sneaks up right here, just on the stairs, where they're not going to be super visible. I mean, they've got a campfire. This is going to be pretty much in shadow, and it's going to be at an angle. Maybe we can wait to see if somebody gets up to pee or something.
Who wants to do it?
Me or William, probably.
You can see Wanjira doesn't want to hang out too close to that either, so she's kind of bunching up here.
Decide quickly. Don't have much time.
Well,
And Lottie, yeah, you can see Wanjira is sort of in like cat prowl mode where she's glancing about with darting eyes like she's in enemy territory, right? That's she doesn't look like she wants to stay put in any one place for too long.
And she looks, William. Either we have someone here or not, but we have to decide now.
Maybe Wanjira can walk past and see how they react. Because they don't know her.
excellent idea. Perhaps we could follow close behind.
No, I think if we're gonna get someone to walk up, it should be one. If Wanjira, why don't you head up the stairs? The left will meet you over there.
Well, we can go. Okay. I guess we probably
Alone.
don't even know the paths.
And she says, "You are coming?"
We ain't gonna leave you.
I will
Okay.
wait for you. And she takes a deep breath. You can see her adrenaline is going, and she makes a visible effort to look casual. And she goes up the steps with her spear just sort of horizontal to the ground, in a loose kind of just travel posture. And
Can we?
Hmm?
Sorry. Can William whisper, "Take a right," and kind of point his hands, or would he know have scouted
I
us?
think it's too late for that. She's already gone up. I'll
Yeah.
see if she. Actually, she hears you saying something, and she stops when she gets to the top and turns and looks back.
And he says, "That way," and he points to the right.
And she turns around and looks back and looks momentarily confused, but then resumes and starts to go off to the right and then disappears. And really, you don't know where any of these people are right now, obviously. So she disappears beyond the beyond
Right.
there.
I think Max was, as she went, started to creep up the stairs, and she was just trying to get an idea of if people followed Wanjira or not, or if people ignored her.
So you're trying to stay out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell that like the edge here, it is within the glow of the campfire. If someone is looking in your direction, it's going to be hard. They have a pretty good chance of seeing you poking your head up to look over.
Well, she'll stop just short and listen then to see if there's any concerned
Okay.
conversation
Go ahead
or
and listen.
footsteps walking away.
Yep.
Nope. Oh, I'll spin the 2 luck. No, actually, I won't. It's probably not that critical.
Okay. I mean, you can push it, but you can
No.
imagine pushing it might have bad
Yeah.
consequences. Yeah. So you don't hear any obvious sounds. There's definitely nobody saying anything. You would hear that. I mean, there's no way if someone called out or something like that you would miss that.
Mm-hmm.
But you don't hear any. You don't hear any stirring or conversation.
Well, I don't think she caused a ruckus. At this point,
And I assume you come back down.
Yeah.
To say this, yeah.
We can walk by, assuming she's going to notice us, but not want to create a fuss in front of everybody. And she'll either come after us or send fire creatures after us, if that's a gig.
I don't know. I think we should just continue going to the left here. I think instead of stopping and making pleasantries, I think we should just act like we're supposed to be going this way and just keep walking. Make hand signs and whatnot, but just keep going unless someone stops us.
And hoping this campfire don't see us.
This one, it just going left and then up.
All right. You're
Oh.
the boss. Sounds as good as anything.
Hey.
So that's what they're going to try. They're going to try to bluff their way through with confidence.
Okay.
Acting like they just
Act like you belong.
act like you belong.
Order of process here.
William should go first. He's the man.
Yep, that's probably true. Max will go behind him.
Sorry, I
He's not gonna shame what
apologize
this way.
on behalf of the
Asshole.
patriarchy.
Just
The
walk by
patriarchy.
and give him the symbol, William. The secret handshake.
Yeah, William. As he's passing by, he's like, "Are you sure you want to go this way? It seems like a large group of people up here."
Yeah, but we are pretty sure those people know who we are and those people don't. So I think it's a good bet Lottie's made.
He nods and he walks.
All right, I again need Lottie. I'm doing this randomly, but Lottie, your number comes up. I need you to do a luck check.
Okay.
Oh!
We're doing so well. 100.
So you guys are talking about this, and you suddenly notice there's a woman standing there, and she says something accusatory. Definitely is the tone in some Kenyan tongue. Lottie, I will let you roll language. Yeah, no idea, but I mean the tone is unmistakable.
What?
Kind of like a.
She'll whisper,
What-
like, "Oh, she's mad. It's about something. I don't know what."
William,
With-
use your charm. We either have to charm or bluff, and I can do the bluff, but I can't
All right,
actually
so,
talk.
Yeah, everybody has to. There's no possibility of conspiring unless you're doing it in front of her. So, what do people do?
Mac's gonna make the symbol.
William. Okay.
What was William gonna do?
William is putting his hands like up and saying hello, but he's kind of stepping backwards.
Okay, and Maxine does the salute thing.
And she just looks her dead in the eye with like that bluff confidence, like, these are my sheep.
All right, power it. Power roll. Okay. Yeah, you come across as confident. You think. And she again says the same exact thing, but the tone is a little less sure. But it's a question. That much you're sure of.
Max looks at the other three, like looks at William, looks at Lottie, looks at Ingrid. She points at each of them, and then she points at herself, and then she points at the mountain. Then she makes the symbol.
Okay. And then you hear a man's voice coming from the fire. A question. And she says something back.
We should probably go the other way.
I think so. Fortunately.
And while you're saying that, you can see this guy appears at the top here and is starting down cautiously, like to see what's going on.
William will nod to Maxine and start to kind of step this way.
Max is gonna actually gesture to Ingrid and gesture her forward
Forward meaning.
to come toward Max.
Oh, okay. Let's see if she notices. Yes, she's very focused right now. As soon as you do that, she slips past Lottie and comes up behind Maxine. And then this guy comes and she kind of steps aside to give him room to sort of step to the fore.
And Max looks at them both and then points at all three of the rest of them and points especially at Ingrid. And then she says, Ingrid, show him your tattoo.
Okay. She nods, and as she's nodding, this guy asks you a very pointed question, Maxine. And it's similar to the one she asked you, but not entirely the same. Lottie, you can make another language check to at least catch part of it.
Okay.
Nope.
Lottie.
You do catch the word "true" in at the end in the question.
Yeah, she just whispers up, "Not your head."
Yeah, Max nods very seriously, makes the symbol again, and then she.
And when you nod, that seems to have upset him.
Oh, great!
And he spreads his hands wide and he starts speaking in an accusatory tone.
She'll make a calm down gesture and then she'll point at Ingrid. Show him your tattoo, Ingrid.
She's unbuttoning her blouse.
Max
is gonna make the swirly symbol on her chest.
And Lottie will interject with her, I guess, broken Swahili, whatever she knows, and she'll just say, "We only speak English. Sorry."
He listens to you for a moment and then he spits on the dirt. And he says something with English mixed in there. Clearly not favorable.
I don't think they're a fan of English. Let's go.
Says, "We are going to go this way. Just want to get closer to mountain and God." She'll make kind of wild pointing gestures as she does this. Try and get her point across.
He takes a step forward a little bit, and you can see there's a little bit of stirring now at the camp up here at this scene that's happening down there. People getting up. This woman comes to the edge to look down, and he raises his voice and says again another question, an accusatory question. And it has the quality of a long rant, like he's starting a rant of some kind.
Yeah. William will say to Maxine and Ingrid, "Come on, let's go."
Might want to drop a firecracker off the cliff or something, Lottie.
So what is everyone doing?
And Lottie just says, "We do not understand all the way. We are going to go this way." She'll point backwards to the way they came. "Sorry. Bye."
Looks like Maxine, you were starting to move away.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, he reaches his hand out to grab your shoulder.
Like he's gonna try to stop her.
Yep.
And she looks at him and whispers, "Merwell says no."
He grabs your shoulder as you're saying that. Ingrid has unbuttoned her blouse and she kind of steps up next to you, almost interposing herself between the two of you, and just flashes her chest at him. And of course, this gets his attention. And you see him look at her confused for a moment, and then he looks at the symbol on her chest.
Yeah,
Yep.
Max just gestures at the symbol.
He jerks his hand back from you, Maxine.
Yeah, she looks at him like fiercely, like, "You've really offended me." And then she points to Ingrid, and then to herself, and then to the mountain.
He backs away, and you can see his tone almost instantly changes to a kind of apologetic, worried sound. And this woman actually goes down on her knees and stares.
Max nods at the
William.
bowing woman and grabs Ingrid's hand, and she just starts moving forward. What does William do?
William looks totally shocked and looks at Lottie and says, "Not a fan of English, but German. He likes that."
Likes whatever's on her breasts, and she'll grab William, and as Ingrid and Maxine make their way towards and through, she just says in Swahili, "We're with them."
He just steps back as far back as he can. And when he sees you're going to go by, he just says something up to the other people at the camp. And they all kind of move to the side to give you room to pass.
Yeah. I think we're going to go with Lottie's original plan and try to pass up this way. With Ingrid keeping her blouse unbuttoned in case we need that again.
Well, she hasn't buttoned it up. But she's not pulling it apart and showing it anymore. She's just following behind you, a little stumbly.
What do we see when we get about here?
Are you stopping or are you just glancing over?
Just glancing.
You see there actually right where I had them before. He's just sitting in front of the tent. You can see the boy is actually he's standing here at the edge now, and he's got like a handful of pebbles, and he's just throwing them down the mountainside, like one at a time.
Yeah, with purpose, not attracting as any more attention as she, just continuing up this way.
All right, do a luck, Maxine.
Oh boy, yes.
They don't seem to even take much notice of you. And you're backlit by the campfire, so your features aren't easily discerned anyway. And it's down lower. This slopes upward.
Yeah.
So you're not in bright light as you go by.
Oh, Do we recognize the man at
In
all?
fact, she's yelling at him, probably to put the rocks down. So she's a little distracted anyway. I don't think you have ever seen that guy before. No.
Okay. And,
I would
William,
remember that facial hair.
William whispers to Maxine, great thinking about the tattoo.
The power of boobs. We was all thinking it.
What is this? Why is this symbol so powerful to them?
I think it means she's chosen. She's special.
So,
William seems like a little concerned by it, and
are you stopping here?
No.
Okay, then keep moving.
Yep. Just
These
nodding at them as they
people,
come.
yeah, they're just sitting there quietly, and they really do just sort of look at you with vague curiosity as you go by.
Just make the symbol, nod, walk by.
They don't even make the symbol back; they just look at you.
Oh, good.
William lets Ingrid pass first before him,
Yeah.
especially if she's
All
still
right.
got her breast out.
Not really. It's just that her shirt is loose and unbuttoned at the moment. She's not parading them around.
Oh, too bad, William.
I'm not looking, I swear.
Sure.
All right, we're moving on up to the east side.
Yeah, Ingrid's keeping up with you. I'm not. How fast are you going, Maxine?
Brisk walk. Nothing weird like running.
Okay.
Do we see
Jira.
Angira?
You probably don't. One of you make a spot hidden. One of you in the front. Probably
Oh.
Maxine.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Hey,
Ow.
Oh,
mark that off.
you do see her. She is hiding behind that bush down there, watching in the direction she came from, crouching with spear at the ready.
Okay.
Take a tiny pebble.
Yeah. Can you drop a pebble on her head, William? Actually, Max will just head down this way, and see if Wanjira will glance in that direction.
She does. Eventually, her attention is mostly there, but yes, she is occasionally looking back that way just to see if anyone's coming that way. And so, yes, she sees you.
And she'll gesture her up and then move back.
Let's see, actually. Okay, lucky for you, I guess, she recognizes that it's you.
Cacao.
And comes. I mean, you're in dim light now.
Yeah.
So yeah, she may not have recognized, but she does, and she hurries up and doesn't say anything.
And we continue to go up.
Okay.
Amazing.
Whew. Finally, we finessed something.
Unfortunately, I don't think the 3 weeks of Swahili prepared me for all this.
Ah, we'd be lost without you.
Oh, I know.
And hey, that I think your idea of heading to the left paid off. I don't think we'd sneak by those other folks so easy.
So,
Ingrid is buttoning up her blouse. A lot of you notice she's kind of lagging behind a little bit when Jira is with her.
let's slow down slightly. Ingrid needs to get redressed.
And then she catches up.
And I suppose we will continue all the way up.
Okay.
Does it look like anybody is pursuing or following us?
Well, you can only maybe tell when you switch back there where you are now. You can, let's see. I will roll for you. You don't see anyone. Looks quiet.
Okay.
I assume Lottie is keeping up.
Oh, nice.
And if they're starting to get closer to that
Yeah,
path toward
the
entrance.
cave entrance is basically right around here.
Oh, okay, nice.
You're approaching. Well, you're approaching the final part here as you go along.
This is where we start to get real slow and quiet.
Yeah. I was gonna say William starts to slink into the shadows over here by the rock and says, it was a guard last time I spotted this place.
Okay. Well, we'll stay back here, maybe, and the two of you are quieter. Go up and take him out.
What if Ingrid could possibly give him the shot of the tattoo? If one of us sneak up behind him and use the old wire.
A distraction. It's not a bad idea. Ingrid, if we run into anybody, you think you can do that?
What?
You just finished putting on her clothes.
Oh, sorry, I'm wearing.
All right, we're going this way, right?
Yep.
Okay. I guess we better save Ingrid for in reserve. She's a little distracted right now.
Yeah. Can he study her, maybe see if how she's doing psychologically, or?
Yeah, you can try a psychology check. Yeah, your impression is that she is distracted. She's focused enough on keeping moving forward, but she's not. Her attention doesn't seem to be on like waiting for you to tell her to do things. She just seems highly what's the word I'm looking for? Like hyper alert, but outwardly, not to the group.
As he's passing, William studies her for the moment, of course, and then he kind of touches her elbow and smiles like a reassuring smile and nods to her, and then keeps going.
Yeah, she kind of she jumps a little when you grab her arm, or not grab, but when you touch her arm, she wasn't expecting that or aware that you were going to do that, and she kind of starts for a moment, and you smile at her, and she just gives like an uncertain nod, and, like she's trying to figure out, maybe did you say something to her or want something from her.
Yeah. And And he doesn't say anything or anything, just with a smiling nod, and then he keeps going.
And Max keeps that fly whisk in one hand and in the
Mhm.
other one hand on one half of the garret as they're creeping forward toward that entrance. And I
Okay.
think maybe William and Maxine getting a little ahead of everybody is not a bad idea. Where the Wanjir is probably stealthy too, but I don't know about that.
Lottie will stay behind with Ingrid for a few paces.
I think William. Is this lit? The corridor here, is it lit by torches or?
It is not.
Hmm. We're gonna have to bust out the old flashlights.
Well, let's stop right here and listen and spot, see what we can find.
Okay. Go ahead and make a spot or listen, whichever you want to do first.
I could try the old.
Oh, I fumbled.
So yeah, I'm not going to let you push a fumble. Or
Nope.
anything. So, no. All I'm going to tell you is that you do see a dim glow ahead in there, but it's very faint. And so you get a sense of space ahead, but so you can sort of tell there's a passage, a short passage, and then it opens up, and there's a very faint light somewhere. Um,
I'll let William do the listen.
you don't hear much of anything except you hear what sounds at first like just maybe the wind, but excuse me. You hear a sneeze. It's not very close by, but it's it's not like right near Maxine and you, but it's not very far away.
He does hear a sneeze.
Yes, he does hear a sneeze.
It's cave mold. Terrible.
Oh, there
Or
is someone up ahead.
man cave mold in my case.
And that glow is coming from this way.
Mm-hmm.
Max looks at William, shrugging, indicating that she doesn't hear anything. See anything.
I did hear something.
She had taken a step forward, like she was gonna move on, and then she stops as William whispers that, and she moves back. What'd you hear?
I'd say Maxine heard the noise, but couldn't discern that it was a sneeze.
Okay.
Sounded like someone sneezed. There's probably
Yeah.
a guard up ahead.
Right. Well, I guess there's nothing for it then. At least we know he's there.
Is this a little hiding spot right here? A little cove?
Yeah, it's not really a hiding spot. It's another very short part of the ledge. So if you go that way, you're still standing, where you'd be exposed to people down below. It's not a cave. It's just an extension of the ledge for, a few more feet.
Oh.
And then it dead ends. You really can't go anywhere else. Unless you jump off or climb down carefully.
Well, we could try to get the guard to come this way and sneak attack him, or we could all start moving down the passage.
One thing to be aware of, you're not. I mean, as long as someone isn't right on the ledge, someone down below probably won't see. At best, they might see the top of a head, but they will be in
Here.
pretty good hearing distance if anything happens, like a scuffle.
Yeah, let's take it inside.
Yeah, I agree.
I guess
Cool.
Max clings to one wall and William clings to the other.
Yeah, William waves to Lottie and them to kind of follow.
Okay. There's enough, as I said, of just dim light up ahead that you can make out more or less where you're going, but it's very tricky.
Yeah.
And I assume you're going very slowly
Oh, very slow.
and checking your footing and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
William is probably going. He pulls his pistol in his right hand, and then on his left, he has his fingers kind of along the cave wall, and moving really slowly. Probably the same speed as Maxine, I guess. I'd imagine.
Okay.
No guns, William.
Yeah, I think Maxine, you would have seen him pull his revolver out. And,
Yeah, she just reaches out, actually. She doesn't say anything. She puts her hand on his gun hand and then leans in and says as quietly as she can, "The minute you fire that, they're gonna know we're here."
He says, "All right, but I'll just knock him over the head."
Max puts her whisk away and she just grabs both sides of her Garrett. And says, "Try it your way, I'll try it mine."
Okay, so you're gonna creep along. So I need let's see.
Stealth.
Well, it's definitely stealth, but you're also gonna have to see your way. That's going to be a big part of it too. So William, I need you to make a spot hidden, but you are going very slow. So I mean, I'll give you 2 bonus dice if you guys are gonna crawl along at a slow pace, but that's a lot of time. So something could happen in the meantime there. That's the risk. Like if you think you have all the time in the world, then you can do that. If you're a little worried, I'll just give you 1 bonus die. That's up to you.
I think they would probably be cautious if they're not hearing like drums or anything.
No,
sudden.
it's sounding pretty quiet.
I mean, would you agree, Maxine?
At least until we get past this one guy. So, I mean, assuming it's one guy, we don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, so go ahead and do a spot hidden, William.
Ooh,
all right. Well, with
good
the
thing.
the 2, so don't check that off. You didn't make a normal success. So yes, you do. You both. He's rolling for both of you. He has the worst of the spot hidden. So at least you're not bumping into stuff that you didn't see. That's the main problem. That could be a sudden nasty surprise. So now, Maxine, I need you to make a stealth check, and I'll give you 2 bonus dice because you guys are going the very slow. Ooh, extreme. And you can check that off because you got a regular success if it's not already. All right. So you edge your way along, and I will reveal some more as you go. And certainly you can tell at least it's opening out like there. So you're at the edge of where it's opening out, and there is light coming generally from this direction, and it's flickering light. And you also you can see that the guard is right there. You see one guy. He's leaning against the wall, and as in the time it's taking you to get up close, you actually hear him yawn once.
Mm. There he is.
He has a spear in hand, but it's loosely, at ease. He's not alert with it.
William looks to
Well,
Maxine.
no, you can't see. You can barely see each other. You are dark shapes.
All right.
And it's actually hard to even see where each of you are. So there's no coordination here.
Max doesn't like the angle for a garroting, so she's gonna reach down to the ground, find a pebble, and she's gonna toss it over there. And if he moves to head that way, she's going to attack. That's just
Okay.
just saying what it is.
Yeah, just make a throw. I mean, as long as you don't fumble it. Yeah,
Not a
it's
great throw, but not a
not
fumble.
a- yeah, I mean, you hit the area over here somewhere. So you throw a pebble over there, and he very quickly jumps to alertness, and grabs his spear, and he says something in Kikuyu or Swahili, something kind of a challenge over there.
Just wait.
Make a luck check, Maxine. He starts to very slowly and cautiously head that way, giving you plenty of time.
Yep, she's
to
gonna
position yourself.
position herself behind him.
So just make this is the important stealth check. I'm giving you a bonus because the extreme luck
Oh boy.
means he's going very slowly, so you can also go slowly, but you're only going to get one bonus die. Oh snap! Yeah, you
Totally doesn't know I'm there.
no. So what are you gonna do?
She's gonna slip the garrote across his throat, stick a knee in his back, and then she's just that's what you would do if you were tall. A short person, she's just gonna put her weight on it and pull down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. He's very make a so you can do either an unarmed or a dex, and I'm giving you 2 bonus dice. I mean, he is complete. He's slow. He's slow and easy.
Well, her dex is better than her unarmed.
Yep. So go ahead. Dex is fine in this case because you're not. He's
not
this is-
expecting it.
This is really just are you coordinated enough to get it around his throat very smoothly, or is it a little, it could turn rough.
Yes.
When I see her moving to jump on him, can I see that?
I'm not
right now?
sure I'm not sure you do. You can make a spot hidden to let me see if you see that. Okay, so yeah, you're aware of her. You see her dark form moving behind him in position. Yeah, what do you do?
So William doesn't want to destroy her her success. Yeah, he sees her like about to pounce. But
He
as
says,
soon
"Hey,
as
buddy, look out!" No.
and as he sees her about to pounce, he's probably going to go for the spear.
Okay, that's on the other side of him in his right hand, though.
Okay.
So
If she successfully starts to choke him, he'll probably use the butt of his pistol to hit him on the skull.
okay,
Then.
okay.
I don't know if I
Um,
had a bonus die, so
You did.
oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes. So you get it. You slip it over his head and very smoothly around his neck and give a pull. Just give me a strength roll. I'll give you a bonus die on that one too.
There it is.
Oh man, you pull this guy back. I mean, he is completely off balance. He drops his spear and grabs for his throat, and he's gurgling. But you're pulling so hard, there's hardly even any sound coming out of his throat.
Yeah, she's just
And-
putting all her weight on it.
Yeah, and then William comes up and go ahead and make an unarmed check, William. Unless you fumble, you're going to hit him in the head. It's not that hard to. She's got him, pinned, and you just okay. So you smack him over the head with the pistol. Maxine, you're garroting him like he very quickly. The pistol butt to the head really badly stuns him, and he goes limp very quickly. And Maxine, if you want, you just finish him with the garrote.
I think with a garrote, after a while, even if you let go, if it's piano wire, you've crushed. I mean, he's they're probably, whether she lets him go or not, after a minute, he's just gonna die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we'll say she finishes him. I mean, after a minute,
this is under wire, so yeah.
Oh, it's under wire. It's padded.
Yeah.
It's from a padded room. She and once he collapses to the ground, she holds him for a couple more seconds. Counts to 10 and then releases, panting and.
Make a sanity check, Max.
Yeah, she actually looks a little sick.
Yes, you do actually. You actually wanted to fail the sanity check here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would say this is bothering you a lot. For right now, you're in hyper vigilant mode, but in the back of your mind later you're kind of going to pay for that.
Well, she keeps flashing back to her brother Peter and that strangler who killed all the women, and she just kind of looks at this guy and at the garret, and it doesn't seem clean.
It's a gruesome way to kill somebody, really, because his leg is twitching and he's gurgling, even and clutching and flailing, and it's about as brutal a way to kill somebody. Well, maybe not brutal, but just so he goes down. You're quite sure he must be dead. There's no way he survived that.
She releases the garret and stands back shaking. William, can you drag him over there?
William looks like, very surprised, and he nods to her and he looks at her and he says, "Good job."
Say that. Don't say that.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. It had to be done, right? I didn't enjoy it enough, and
it did. Of course not. And he starts to drag him.
Okay. You hear nearby now that you're focused a little bit not on him. You hear nearby kind of sounds like wind chimes or something, just flutter. There is a little bit of draftiness in this cavern.
I'm gonna go back and get the others, I guess.
And I'll show you what you see, because as you look this way, you can. It's very dim and hard to see all the details, but gonna give you a vague idea of the outline of what's up there.
Oh, that does not look happy.
Yeah, there's some kind of dark, like it looks like a split passages left and right there.
Are we catching a whiff
And-
of anything?
And the light source seems to be coming from this direction. You already can smell a slight stench in here. Blood and offal and weird smelling smoke. Char, maybe.
William is gonna search the body for anything.
Oh, heavens no. He's got like a loincloth and tattoos and like bones, what's the word? Like stuck through his skin all over.
I've been wanting a loincloth pretty bad, so I'm gonna.
You're gonna take his final dignity away, really.
How could you?
Thanks, old chap. Now he, as he leaves him there, he does kind of say a little prayer. It says, "Sorry, old chap."
He does not reply, but that kind of skull mask on his face does sort of glare at you. Make a sanity check, William. Okay. It just looks like it's kind of glaring at you, but silent and dead.
Yeah. And he thinks on it for a moment. He says, "But you probably deserved it." And then he looks back to where Maxine is heading to get the others.
Yeah, she's kind of what?
He kind of just guards the hole there, waiting.
And she kind of stumbles back a lot faster than they came, one hand kind of touching either side of this passage.
It's a lot easier going out than going in because you
Yeah.
can see the night sky. It's still not quite, it's still dusk outside. There's just a glow of the sun has disappeared, but there's still a glow in the sky, and so you can see a little bit better.
She steps out and gulps the night air for a minute and then only kind of leans over, half bent, kind of as if she were catching her breath, or maybe trying not to throw up, but she gestures with one hand to the others to come forward.
Lottie nods. Motions for the others. Come on. It's done.
Yeah, Ingrid figures out that you're trying to get her to go along. She comes along, Wanjira behind her.
Yeah, it's clear, I think. And
Wanjira slips very quickly past Lottie and Ingrid to Maxine, and she says, "What is going on in there?"
There was a god, but we took care of him. There
are more.
I haven't seen any more. Not any in sight. Come on, you'll see.
She now sticks close behind you, and Lottie, you're gonna have to follow behind Wanjira. It seems like Wanjira has decided to move up.
She just motions to Ingrid. Come on, let's go.
Okay. William, you can see them all moving in down the passage there.
Yeah. William looks to Maxine and nods to her, kind of making sure she's feeling better before heading towards the torchlight.
Yeah, it's probably hard to tell. She's kind of avoids what little eye contact you can make, but
There's not much. Yeah, that's easy to do right now.
right. Just start slowly, but not as slowly as in here, moving forward. Just
Yeah.
reasonable caution.
Okay.
William will, I suppose, walk next to Wanjiro.
Okay. She's got her spear at the ready now.
As we get closer, what is this nasty mess?
Yeah. It's still a little hard to make out the details, but it's like a big mound. And you can finally see right about where you are it probably a fire, a campfire in this direction, and it's shining enough light on here from the angle you're at that you can make out it's like a pile of skulls, and it's probably it stretches higher than you can see the light, like at least 20 yards.
Wow.
And it's a big pile of skulls.
In the picture, it looks kind of gory. Does this look like old skulls or recent skulls?
They look like they're... Well, you know what? You don't have enough light to say.
Okay. But we don't see flesh gleaming off of them in the torchlight.
No, you don't. Well, because you don't really get This is really bare light. The campfire is not close by.
Okay, fair.
It's just a little. It's like reflections and.
Okay, well then I think she glances at it, wonders, and then purposely tries not to wonder anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Lottie's gonna look up. It's a ceiling or is it like a hole above here?
Where you are right now, there is a ceiling. I mean, it's very irregular. This is a natural cavern, clearly. There's no regularity to anything here. The ceiling varies from maybe 10 yards above you to maybe 15, 20, you think. Just your sense of things. Again, it's very hard to tell without light. However, as soon as you get beyond where you are now, you feel that it opens up. You can feel and hear it's a much larger space. And with a high ceiling, clear just from the way sounds echo and all that, you can tell it's a not just a wide space but a high space.
Actually, I think is Ingrid falling behind?
You don't know.
Tries to tell. She whispers to Lottie.
I don't know that you can tell, but you can try.
Do you see Ingrid?
Sorry. And Lottie looks back, hugging the wall a little bit, and Ingrid.
You see her shadowed form standing in the entrance still, facing the wall. And she's got one hand out touching the rock. Like she's like she's feeling the rock, like just steady.
Ingrid. Body's gonna approach. Come on, we're going deeper. You're right.
She just says to you without even looking at you, she just says, I can feel it.
What exactly are you feeling?
The god of this mountain is here.
Oh, lovely.
I feel it moving,
Well, how about this?
like small tremors.
How about you keep us apprised of where it is, maybe, if you feel like getting closer, huh? How about that?
She actually turns and looks at you. You can't really see her eyes, but you can imagine them a little wide. And she laughs a nervous laugh, and she says, the god is everywhere in here.
Oh. That's, not very comforting. But we have to go deeper, Ingrid. We can't stop here. As you said, you want to see and see, and the way we're gonna do that is to keep going.
Yes, I would like to see him with my own eyes.
I come on. Lud extends her hand to Ingrid. Let's go.
She takes your hand.
She'll make her way back towards the others.
And as you're going along, she just says a little, like, in a strange non sequitur, she just says, your hands are much softer than Maxine's.
Thank you, Ingrid. Yeah. Well, I don't know if I should thank you, but I guess.
When you said thank you, she takes you by both shoulders, which I think would surprise you,
And
kind
hurt?
of spins you around. Not hurt, not painfully, but just like almost urgently. And she holds you squarely facing her, and she says, this is no place for soft hands.
I know. Good.
Does William?
I would say William's attention is mostly on what's going on, because now that you're where you are, you actually can see more over there. So I don't think William sees any of this exchange, really. I'm going to draw a bit more of what you see.
Lottie says, like you, Ingrid, I can't leave. I have to see this through. No matter how soft my hands are.
She just lets go of your shoulders, and you think she shrugs, and just walks ahead calmly.
Lottie makes her way over to William.
William's standing there. He's been standing there looking at the pile of skulls with his gun in his hand, and just shocked.
And now you can see these wind chimes just hanging all over the place in here, in the firelight. You're not even sure how high up they must go to attach to the ceiling, because you can't even see the ceiling. They're just hanging on these long vines or cords, and just blowing in wherever this breeze is coming from. It's not even clear. And the chimes are all bone, just various bones.
And he notices he's staring at the skulls and the wind chimes and the bones, and just kind of consumed by the whole place. And then he notices Maxine approach, or Lottie approach from behind, and he turns to her.
Lottie whispers, glancing over the bones and glancing over to Ingrid. The feeling that, well, you sure you've come to this conclusion too is everyone who's here is now there. She points to the bone pile. And I think we're gonna be losing Ingrid. Maybe. I don't think she's gonna come back from this, William.
You can see William's face is like just totally blank, and he says, "This God requires so much sacrifice." And, he looks past Lottie and looks at Ingrid for a moment. And then he kind of looks at his gun and then back at Ingrid. I think Lottie would definitely catch it.
Lottie kind of nods a bit. I think comes the time to do it. Whatever God it is that they worship, it's, according to Ingrid, it's here. Around us. Everywhere.
He looks to Lottie, kind of sad look at that, and says, "Perhaps Ingrid is just led to be another sacrifice."
I feel she is into that. If we're not careful, we end up the same. Like I said before, we're not gonna make it out of this, but once we see Wanjira, I'm releasing this thing, this creature, Lindsay. And then, hopefully, we can at least save some of the people out there from her.
And does William notice these guys over here?
Yeah, they're two guys. They're sitting cross-legged at the fire. They just seem to be very subdued.
Okay, and as Lottie's saying that last bit, William's eyes follow further down into the cavern, and more skulls, and a whole other pile of skulls, and then he sees the two, and he says, "Two men down there by a fire," and he points.
Yeah. Max turns around to Wanjira, who's probably the only person close enough to see gestures, and holds up two fingers and points them in the other direction.
She looks past you and sees and nods. And at this point, you're starting to. There's a weird smell in here beyond the smell of stale blood and all of that. It's like I said, a smoky smell. And your head is starting to feel a little light. You're starting to feel a little lightheaded.
Oh, great. Max starts to wonder if their time in here with this smoke, well, the more time they spend is probably not going to be the better. She backs up and kind of pulls Wanjira back and Lottie back and William toward her so they can kind of all hear, and says, should we try this way?
Aye. Maybe we should. Let's do it.
Okay. So I guess we see what's down this way.
It's much darker down that way. So I need to know how cautious you're being, because you're going to have to go pretty slow if you're going to be really careful. The floor is, as I said, a natural cavern. It is irregular. There are, bumps and ups and downs, and you can easily trip if you're not being really careful.
Yeah, she's worried about that smoke, though. I think she's gonna reach into her bag, pull out the flashlight, and cover it, like put it under her her blouse, or if she's got something that how you put it a
Sure.
blanket or something over a light, it dims it.
Yep. It chokes it, and it's only
and
gonna
she'll
light a
point
little
it
bit
down.
around. Yeah. Okay. All right, you do that.
Do we notice that that smoke as well?
Oh yeah, everybody notices it. I meant that for the group. You can all feel that it's you're starting to feel a little lightheaded. In fact, I would like everybody to make a Constitution check for me.
Okay.
Oh,
I was gonna say too. Can
oh no, I made it. Nope, I failed it.
Can William take his handkerchief, kind of make a what do you call it?
Mask?
Not yet. After this check, I think that's when you really start to notice you might need to do something like that. This is for the cumulative effect of just being in there so far. So just Lottie and Slip, just remember that you failed it once. It's not affecting you yet, but like I said, you two are starting to feel lightheaded. William, you just have this. Yeah, you can tell that something's a little off. So I'd say, yeah, you might pull out a handkerchief and cover your nose and mouth.
Would I know, or would Lottie know of maybe regarding the smoke? I don't know if maybe any ancient Egyptians did something with smoke or anything like that, whether incense or something that might do this.
Absolutely, it is a very common practice in holy places to have strong, even mind-altering sometimes, incense and substances in the air to create that religious visions and sort of thing. That would not shock her that there's some smell in the air that seems to be making you lightheaded.
Yeah, she does mention as they're going. There might be some side effects of this smoke. Let you know. Yeah, might get some, I don't know, hallucinations or something, depending.
Great. Just what I need.
Perhaps we should cover our faces.
Max will nod, see if she's got a old hanky, and make do. Keep moving forward.
So you got a handkerchief in one hand so how are you covering the flashlight if you got a hand covering your...
She's got one hand tucked into her shirt, from the bottom.
Okay.
Shining the flashlight through.
So that's going to be a little more unsteady. So if you momentarily trip or bump or something, it's very possible that that light will for a moment flash out.
Okay.
Right. So just to be aware that,
Yep.
that you just have a less of a grip on keeping it secret.
No, that makes sense.
And Lottie, you've got your
Got
buddy
Lindsay in a bum arm.
Lindsay and a bum arm.
I'm just
So
pulling
yeah,
my shirt up.
you're
Goes.
breathing.
Oh, damn.
Wajira's not covering her face. She's got her spear in both hands.
Actually,
Um,
I could stop and tie the handkerchief around my face.
Okay, you can
Well,
do that.
William's gonna be the gentleman and tie his around Lottie.
Thank you. Thank you.
Ingrid doesn't cover her face. She just waits. And when you get your light back fixed, Maxine, you just catch a momentary glimpse of Ingrid in the limit of the light, and you would describe her face as just impatient, like she just wants things to keep moving.
Yikes. Okay. Well, keep moving. We do.
So yeah, you can see you're passing this, and you can, by inference, see that there is a second mound here that is, that is silhouetted against the fire behind it. So you see it kind of sloping up the same way the other one is. So there's two such giant
This,
Gore mounds.
skull mounds, yeah.
this god demands too much death.
And you can see up ahead a vague shape, and it's a towering kind of shape. Oops, sorry, hold on. Did I do that? Yeah, there we go. You can see it's a towering shape, like it could be another mound, but it's too difficult to be sure because it's too dimly lit. But you're getting close to it.
Oh, great.
Oh, I'm pretty nerve-wracking, not gonna lie.
I'm trying not to use my imagination.
Wanjira is keeping in the light here. Ingrid is following along.
Are there a great deal of flies here?
Yes. There are flies.
Maxine, where's the fly swatter?
Oh, she looks back at you, trembling, and reaches into her bag or wherever she has it tucked in a belt or whatever, and pulls it out. Holton grips it.
Okay.
She just stands there for a minute, gripping it and seeing if it. So far, as she can discern, this whisk is just a whisk, but at the.
He's.
Go ahead.
He's gonna, like, pat her, and maybe like move in front of her, and try to take point.
Okay. She'll let you move forward. Do you want the flashlight, or is Max still holding it?
Yeah, he'll take it from her.
And she'll try to pass it she'll turn it off for a minute after everybody kind of catches up. Well, it's probably going to freak everybody out. She kind of tugs at your shirt, and she'll just try to pass it kind of from under hers to under yours. She just doesn't want to make a big glow. At the same time, she doesn't want anybody to scream when the light goes out.
Make a luck check, Maxine. Okay. You pass it to him, and now you have it.
And he'll do the same thing. He'll protect it as she was protecting it, but now she can at least hold the whisk and.
Okay. And you've got your rifle slung over your shoulder, I'm assuming, right?
Yeah, I think he's just got his pistol in one hand and then the flashlight in the other.
No, you really need two hands to mask the flashlight effectively. I mean, you can you can risk it, but it's if you're not using two hands, I'm going to be making you check to see if it slips at some point, because it's very awkward to keep it covered with one hand that you're, and just pushing it up against a shirt or something. It's too much movement and irregularity to keep it in.
Then he'll definitely holster his pistol.
Okay.
And try to lead the way.
All right. So this thing is clearly not a mound of skulls. It looks like a almost like those where like a stalactite, I think, that, or stalagmite, whichever one it is, that sort of builds up from deposits over time. Just like built up. That's what it looks like at first, but then you see there's more regular, purposeful shape to it. And at the same time, your light picks up just a little bit of a shiny reflection right here.
Where?
Right next to you.
Oh, not on it, like on the wall.
Mm-hmm.
Max will point at it, not knowing that everybody saw it.
What's that?
Yeah, William will try to get a closer look.
I'll show you what it looks like. Hold on a second.
Like this.
Jump scare! Don't you dare.
Shift Z.
A clock. That's weird. Is it attached to the wall, or is it just sitting
Yes,
there?
it is attached to the wall.
Does it have like this winder thing there?
It is exactly what you see in that picture.
That's like a key, too. What's this? Lottie will come over and get a closer look at it, kind of lean down, putting Lindsay on the ground briefly. We'll try to get, maybe see if she can see the purpose of this clock.
Okay. That'd be an education roll.
Okie doke. What? Ah!
You have no idea. I mean, it's obviously a clock. You can see the little dials moving, and it's a 12-hour, kind of clock, like clocks you have seen, but it's much fancier than any clock you've ever seen.
You have to look at it and frown slightly. Sure what it is, but maybe it's probably counting down to something.
William, you can make an education roll as well. I'm going to give you a shot at it. You have seen one such clock in the military. On a ship, you saw it once when you were traveling during the war, when you were on a troop ship. You saw you were in the captain's cabin at one point, because you were an officer and you were talking to the captain, and you saw a clock that looked like this, but you didn't bring it up or anything. You just remember seeing it.
Okay. And it was on the ship. The captain's cabin.
What time is it approximately right now? Not on the on the clock and in real life, in our time here in Kenya.
So in Kenya right now, it is probably, we'll say it is 8 o'clock in the evening. And let's see. It's not the same as 8 o'clock. It is, let's see. It is, I believe, 2 or p.m. So it's 2 o'clock on this clock.
Saw it on a ship?
Yeah, he definitely repeats that. The captain's quarters. Strange.
Why would a captain... Oh, because when you're on a ship and you're traveling everywhere, it's not the same time everywhere, is it?
No.
But maybe you want to know what time it is back home. Maybe?
Lottie points to Maxine, probably not getting seen in the darkness, but she says, "What if there's other clocks like this? Other places that are like this? They're all keeping the same time?"
She gasped. Because it's important. Something about the time is important. Acting at the same time is going to be important.
All over the world.
Lottie reaches in. She's gonna attempt to try and crank that little what is it? The turner?
key?
Yeah, to change the time.
Yep. Turning the key does not change the time. It's like it's like winding it.
Oh.
Look for a thing. See if there's any way to change it.
Or we can smash it.
Yeah. Maxine says, let me at it for a minute.
You're a bit really small. Step
Yeah.
back.
William, give me all the light you can without getting it everywhere.
William looks around for a minute, and then he tries to adjust the light so she can see without shining it all over the cave.
Mm-hmm.
And
Okay.
she's gonna put the whisk back in her belt, and she's gonna find her lock picks.
Mm-hmm.
See if she can pry the glass off of it or something like that.
So you can tell as you're going over it with the lock picks to try to work on it, you can see there does not appear to be any mechanism, unless you maybe could take it off the wall and look behind it, but there's no mechanism in the front or the sides or the top that seems to be to let you change the time. And you can open the front case like in the picture, but there's still glass over the clock, and you can see it's not meant to come off.
Right.
Does this passage end here?
No, there's more. This is just the limit of what you can see. There's maybe a little bit, you can see it continues behind this big thing.
She looks at the others and says, I could try to break it quiet, muffle it, and then crack it.
I'm going to tell you that sort of as a professional, you can try to do that, but the way sound travels in here, you're worried that that's going to be a very hard thing to conceal.
Okay. How big is it?
It is maybe 14 inches across from side to side. It's pretty big.
She tries to move it off the wall.
Okay, make a dexterity check. Okay, you get it off very smoothly. It seems to be hanging on the wall by a couple of nails in the stone that have been sort of pounded into the stone. And you lift it up and can pull it off the broad-headed nails.
But it's 14 inches across, you said?
Yes, yep.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's pretty big.
And it's pretty heavy too. I mean,
Yeah.
William says, maybe we should leave it here for now.
You're gonna know we was here from the dead god. But yeah, she turns it over, puts the lid on and turns it over real quick just to get a quick look at the bottom and make sure there's not an access panel on the back.
there are screws on the back, but no mechanism for changing time or anything. But there are screws that would suggest that that's how you get into the interior mechanisms.
What's her estimate of how long it would take her to get it open?
I don't know. 2 minutes, 3 minutes.
Do we leave it?
Does she have a screwdriver?
No. She'd be just makeshifting tools.
Yeah,
so
I mean that's
why I was
about
asking.
That's like a 5-minute job to get them out, probably. Yeah, I mean, judging by the craftsmanship on this looks superb.
Yeah. Okay.
You're expecting these are going to be deep screws, so take a while to get out without the right tools.
She says it would take me at least 5 minutes to get it open, and then I don't know what we do. We leave it? If we come back this way, we can smash it? I don't know.
I think if we just
Wait,
smash it,
what's that noise?
Like turns her head. I
I
don't know.
hear
Celebrating?
some sort of excitement. Where's it coming from?
You're not sure. It's echoing in the cave here. It's again, you're sort of maybe you're not even sure when it started.
Yeah.
It's echoing from somewhere in here. It's definitely in this cavern somewhere.
All right. She's going to kind of set the box down like over here where it's not going to get tripped on. And edge forward. Come on, William. Something's happening.
You hear a voice yell something angrily.
They may have found the guard.
But we can't tell where that voice is coming from.
One of you can make a listen check.
Will not be me.
William.
No.
You don't know. You just know it's coming from somewhere in here.
All right, just keep moving.
Yes, we should hurry.
Max will take hold of the whisk again.
Okay. You take hold of the whisk and make a spot hidden for me. You see at first you just think it's because you took up the whisk and your the what are the little whisk bits, whatever you call those. I'm not even sure what to call them. The bits that flip, that you flog around, the little flogs.
Yeah, the frayed ends there.
Frayed ends. They're moving a bit as you're kind of getting ready to move on, and you notice they're all sort of whipping around like there's a wind or something.
Oh,
And they weren't doing that before.
She stares hard at them to see if there's any any discerning direction that they're whipping in, or if they're just seem alarmed. That's how she anthropomorphize it anyway.
They're whipping to your left.
But that's just the wall, right?
Yes.
Well, she'll take a look. To the left.
Okay. Make a spot hidden. It's just wall.
Yeah.
Actually, you feel a faint draft coming along your feet.
You're kidding.
No.
Oh my gosh, finally this dumb whisk did something.
and the whisk, the little tails of this, they're fluttering in the wrong direction. Like they're fluttering towards the little movement of air.
She says, William, look at this. Lottie. And she bends down and tries to find the source of the air.
Okay.
Yeah, William will shine a light too.
She's doing that. Yeah. And you can see that there's a crack that runs all along the bottom edge where the wall meets the cavern floor. And you also notice that the floor here is just a little bit smoother and flatter than it has been in a lot of other places.
Some kind of secret passage.
Yeah. She gets down, runs her hands on the floor, tries to see if she can spot a place where, is it smooth because something passes over it? Does she see any marks like that? Of a door opening outward, sometimes it would leave an arch.
Right. No, it doesn't seem to do that. You don't see anything like that.
Okay. Well, she'll just start pushing, pulling, putting her hands all over the wall.
Okay.
Somebody check the back of the statue. Maybe that's something.
Maybe there's some sort of switch.
Yeah.
Bobby'll come over and start looking for any sort of switch or push-in button thing.
Okay. You can make a spot hidden.
Oh yeah.
See everything.
It's actually right by William, near where the clock is.
Oh.
Just to the right of where the clock is. There is there's what looks to be, you see a little strange crack that runs horizontal and then vertical and then horizontal, and it just looks a little too regular to be natural.
So something I can put my hand in?
Yeah, there's a little bit of a a disjoin along the vertical crack, like you can sort of slip your finger into the crack from one side.
She'll put down Lindsay briefly and do that. Put her finger in. I think I found it.
Yep. So you get your finger in there, and you can pry a little bit in, and it kind of pops forward, and you can see that it's it's like a hinged opening. Like you can sort of push it into the side. Sorry, not really hinged as it were, but just kind of. It's like a
rollers?
It's like a sliding door almost that you can push in to the left.
She looks over at Maxine. If we push it in, then push it to the left. We should be able to get it open.
Yeah, I don't know which way it's gonna open, so I'm gonna stand back over here.
I think well, it's not swinging. It's just rolling. You think to the side.
Oh, all right.
Like there's an alcove probably behind it.
Well, whatever you're gonna do it fast.
William, you do it. You're strong. I got one arm.
All right.
Yeah, he'll do it.
Ingrid's just watching with curiosity, and Wanjira as well. All right, so you push it aside, and it reveals a dark, tiny chamber, probably maybe 6 inches wide, a couple feet high, and you're not really sure how deep it goes.
This is like the Indiana Jones Temple of Doom when they have to reach in with the insects and the centipedes.
Something,
Pull the lever.
something like that.
We are going to die.
And you do actually hear little sounds coming from in there, little chitinous sounds.
Oh no.
Lindsay! Wonder how big they are. Can you shine the flashlight down there, maybe? Possible? William?
Yeah, William. He like glances back. He's looking back the way they came, and then he shines the light.
Okay. You see movement inside there, and it's like a bunch of small, weirdly winged things with multiple like thorax pieces. You have no idea what these things are, but they're kind of scurrying around and fluttering around inside there. And you can see there is a lever that is in an up position that you could pull down, you presume.
And are they covering the lever?
Oh,
or-
they're all over. Yeah, they're all around. Like if you stick your hand in there, you're probably going to brush up against a couple of them at least.
Max says, well, maybe if you held the fly whisk while you did it, I don't know.
Are they small enough to like fit in Lindsay's mouth? Would she eat them?
Maybe they'd be big bites, but it's possible.
Well, it's at least lower her to eat one or two, but yes, the fly whisk is a good idea.
Yeah, whichever. I mean, we probably couldn't fit the cage in the hole, could we?
True.
But her tongue might go out. Why don't you try that?
Lottie will put Lindsay's cage up to the edge of the hole and say, "Can you reach in there?"
And she kind of looks at you and blinks a couple times, and then looks back into the dark hole, and her tongue starts lashing out, and she starts like sticking each of these things one at a time and sucking them back into her mouth. And when she does that, you have never seen her like vertical maw open as wide as it does this time. It's almost like her head seems to, just for an instant, and it could be an optical illusion, but her head almost seems to double in size for just a moment. And it opens up enough to take the thing inside and then snaps shut and seems to shrink back down to normal size again.
I think she likes that.
And she just she swallows it and then boom, takes another one, swallows it, and keeps doing that.
Well, either we can sit here for the next while and while she consumes them all.
There's not that many of them in there. You think it would just be a couple minutes at this rate.
Oh, perfect. Good job, Lindsay.
Is it working?
Hey, she's eating them all. It's a bit unnerving, but at least she's not hungry. Well, she's always hungry, what am I saying?
Yeah, she looks slightly bigger than you remember now that you're looking at her closely.
I think she's getting big.
And she she finishes and she looks at you and blinks a couple times again, and you don't know what a smile. I mean, it's a weird mouth, but you think maybe she's smiling at you.
Oh, and yeah, Lottie picks her back up and says, "Good job, you did a great job."
William's gonna get the lever then.
Yep. All right, you tug on the lever. It's a little bit of a a hard pull, but you pull on it, and there's this momentary rumble, and then the door starts to move. And it's much slower than that sound made it sound out to be. It starts to rise up. And that is where we will stop.
Bum, bum, bum.